everyone, it's Marie here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here today with a walkthrough of my December album. It's taken me a while. I realise it's December has been and gone, but I actually only just finished my 2023 album in December of this year, the year just gone. So this is quite good for me to have this done quite so early. So here it is. Here's my December album. I have used mainly Bella Boulevard, not their previous collection, the one before that. It was more to my taste, more to my colour scheme. I didn't find any other collections this year that I really liked, that I really fell in love with for doing my December album. I'm really traditional in colours. I like greens and I like reds for Christmas. I do like a bit of blue in there, a few other colours, but I don't, predominantly I want it to be green and red. That's my idea of they're my Christmas colours, they're my favourites. I've done this in a Simple Stories standard 6x8 album. I like the Simple Stories because of how deep they are, how wide they are, and how much you can get in. And even though they are nice and big, I've still actually filled 2 separate albums to do the whole of 2024. Everything you'll see in here, like I say, most of it is Bella Boulevard. There are a few pages from, or papers from Echo Park. I think mainly Echo Park actually. Maybe some Simple Stories in there as well, but the vast majority is the Bella Boulevard. Along with that, you'll see Cutfiles, they're from Peartree. You'll see Flare, also from Peartree, and any acrylic bits and pieces I've used are also from Peartree. So on the front, I've got my December 2024 title here. This is in silver, like a mirrored acrylic, so you can see in the reflection there of the camera. But you can see that that's a lovely silvery colour on the front, and then the same silvery colour for the 2024 that's gone in the little label thing here to show the dates. I've now got those on all of my albums, and they're available in the Peartree shop as well. So the first page in my December albums is always a title page. I love to have a title page, and they all look roughly the same. I like that as a unifying thing across all of my albums. So I've turned the O into a shaker. I never usually incorporate a photograph onto this first page. It usually is just a title. So I've turned the O into a shaker. You could put a photograph in there if you wanted to. I chose not to. Lots of lovely animals from the collection. And a Peartree flare as well, and some lovely snowflakey paper. It wasn't actually snowing in December, but you get the idea. So the second page is actually my first story. So my numbers represent stories rather than days, because quite often there's more than one thing happens on one day, and then I have a couple of days where nothing happens because my husband and my son are at school and they're just busy, and there isn't any time to do much of anything. So quite often my stories don't necessarily relate to the dates, but everything that happened that I've recorded in here did happen in December, and they're all important stories to me. So that's how I go about it. I'm quite flexible with the dates, and if I need to move things around and to fit it in better, fine by me. They don't have to be the exact right dates. Also, with this album this year, I haven't actually done a great deal of journaling. Some years I will do a lot, some years I won't do much at all. But this year, not very much at all. So this page, I decided to go with this wreath cut file. Now this is just in the shop. It's not a December album cut file. We do December album files specifically that are sized to fit in here. And we do advent calendars every year that are specifically for December albums. So no cut files bigger than 6x8. But I also do like to use other ones in here as well. You either have to make them a little bit smaller, or you have to spread them over 2 pages like I've done here, or you have to just cut bits off them to make them fit. You'll see that in a minute. But here we've got the holly wreath cut file. So I backed it and then I cut it in half, and then I stuck it down. So the 2 pages do match up perfectly. So I actually also cut the photograph in the middle in half to make that work. And it is a story about me making my own wreath. I have never done that before. Did it with some lovely friends this year. We all made one. They were living wreaths, and they lasted so well. I didn't actually want to take mine down when I'd finished with it, because it was just so lovely, and I loved having it on the front door. So I've incorporated pictures of the actual process, and then the finished wreath is in the middle there. Noel title from Peartree, and then a flare with a wreath on as well. So a bit of everything on that page. And the second story is also a double page. It doesn't necessarily meet, this one doesn't have to kind of touch. Apologies if there is any glare as well from the page protectors, but I think it would take me way too long to take everything out of page protectors. So this story is 'Tis the Season to Create, because I created one of those illusion decorations where it looks like all of these baubles here are pouring out of this cup. And you do it by having a piece of wire in the middle to support the cup, and then you hot glue gun on all these bubbles. Well, 11 billion baubles later, and I had finally managed to do as many as I wanted. There's also some lights in there, some little fairy lights that are battery powered, some little pretend sweets that look like little peppermint sweets. I absolutely love how it turned out, and it became my table centerpiece for this year. It did need a whole box of its own to be stored away back in the loft, but other than that, really enjoyed making it. We've got a bauble flare on here. We've got the 'Tis the Season cut file, as well as two dangling bauble cut files here. Obviously, it had to be done. It was completely, entirely made out of baubles. And we've also got a little bow as well from Peartree. Oh, and some little stars as well. Story 3 is more making. This is me making some decorations for our Christmas tree. Now, these pictures were actually taken maybe like a week after this, but they were made early in the month. I've done a needle felted gonk. I've done a sewn, it was like a little sewing kit gonk, and then a macrame one as well. If you don't know what macrame is, it's just where you like knot quite thick ropey threads together and to make patterns, and then you kind of fold them all together, and it made this little gonk. Absolutely love him. I think he's really cute. So Holidays title, the gonk coming out of a box cut file there. That again is available just in the shop, and we've got a gonk flare as well. So just the whole thing on there. I enjoy making things at Christmas. I find at the beginning of the month we don't do a great deal, so it's nice to sort of start creating some things. My story 4 is 'Tis the Season, again title from Peartree along with the flare. This one uses a lawn fawn die. This is a little door die, and what I like to try and do is have some sort of lift the flap thing whenever I document my advent calendars, because I think, well, that's kind of what an advent calendar is. You open the doors, don't you, on an advent calendar? So I like to have the same idea on a scrapbook page, on a December album page. And so that's my son's one, his Hershey's one. My husband's one was a cheese one. And then our family one was an escape the game. It's like an escape room advent calendar where you have to solve puzzles to figure out where the next door is, and then you open the door and then you have another puzzle. Fabulous advent calendars. If you want something that's not chocolate, they're absolutely brilliant. We've done one for the last 2 years now. Lots and lots of fun. Really like that page. So that one's not in a page protector, just so that you can still open the doors easily. The one on the back is story 5, which is my son baking. We were all baking, actually. We were all kind of got involved with this. This is us trying to make mince pies. They were not the most successful. They didn't taste great. I think we missed some sugar somewhere because they were they just weren't right. Anyway, we'll try again next year. Our mince pies were very special though, because some of them had stars on top, some of them had holly leaves on top, and some had turtles on top, because you know that you need a turtle on your mince pie. We've got the Baking Memories title, a spoon and a rolling pin. We've got another flare here, and these bits here are all from Tracy Reed. I needed to put something in the middle here because these two pages, if you look, don't look quite right next to each other, and I have a big thing about pages next to each other looking right together, and they didn't necessarily, so I put an extra little, just like add a additional filler page in so that there was more red and a bit more green to tie towards the green, and then the back was green to tie into this page, and it just seemed to help it fit together better. Story 6 is about my fireplace and my new garland that I got this year that goes all the way over my fireplace. I've got another flare here. This is a cut file, just again from the shop, it's a slightly bigger one. I've just cut the ends off down here to make it fit because it seemed like the perfect cut file for that page. Just a very simple one photograph. Yeah, I was really pleased with how my new garland looked on my fireplace. The next story, story 7, was me and my mum having a little day out together. Neither of us are particularly mobile for a variety of reasons, so we can't ever go far. But we managed to get to a garden centre, and they had just a lovely display as you first went in, and we were able to take just a couple of photographs in their displays. So I used the Christmas Magic title there in gold, fit perfectly with the photo, along with the lights here that I backed in a gold mylar, just to make it look extra sort of Christmassy and special. The number here is not from Bella Boulevard. The number that for that day just was the wrong colour, so I ended up just using a gold one instead. We've then got the Christmas tree cut file from one of the December album advent calendars. These are still available in shop, by the way, if you should want to purchase one. I put this onto vellum so that it's just a filler page to slightly hide what's going on behind, because I know that the next story is us picking our Christmas tree. So I've just hidden that away a little bit. I've got Merry Moments as the title, and then just the number up here. I love to have very simple pages. And this picture is a standard one for us now. We have to do this every single year, where whatever tree we've chosen, which FYI was way too big, I just don't know what we were thinking. It was far too big, and we got it home, and you'll see on the next page. And yeah, it was just a bit on the large side. Never mind, it fit, we made it work, but it was huge. We have to have this photograph every year when my husband and son stand behind the tree that we've chosen and pop their heads out as if they've, it's in every single one of my December albums now. This page actually opens out to show the process of us trying to pick a tree. I think we went through about 17 before we chose what we wanted. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. And I've got the title, Oh Christmas Tree. I realise this is spelled incorrectly for the song. It should just be an O without the H. But when I did it with the O without the H, it didn't look right, and I just had to put the H on. So now it looks better. This whole page is designed around tags and frames and all just kind of layered together. Really like the look of that, really like the way that turned out. It's got another little flare on there, little hedgehog on a sleigh, as you do. And then the next page, this is the one that really tells the story of the trees. We got it home, you leave it outside for a little while, and then we brought it in. We put it in a bucket of water, and then we brought it in and started unwrapping it as you take the net off. And I had to use the title, The Perfect Tree. This is a little bit tongue-in-cheek because it literally did go ready, steady, pop. And the tree popped out of the net, and we all stood there and went, oh, goodness me, that's much bigger than we thought. And it fit height-wise, no problem, but there was very little room to get round it. It was quite a comical tree. It did also make us realise that we need lots and lots more Christmas lights if we're going to keep getting big trees. We don't have enough Christmas lights. Another little tree cut file from Peartree. That's from a while ago. I think that one's just in the shop. And then the next story, which is story 9, here's the 9, is us decorating the tree. So this is Elliot, and I decided to have this one where all the photographs were in baubles themselves, so I did cut them all out of circles, as you can see here. The main photograph is inside of the bauble cut file. Ho 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 is the title, and a little bauble flare and some little gold stars as well. And then I've got some baubles from the collection, but I've also made 2 baubles for the extra 2 photographs as well. And I liked that kind of idea of them all dangling as if all the photographs were in baubles. The next story was Hot Chocolate. So again, a title from the shop, a little cup from last year's Bits and Pieces advent calendar, and a little flare as well. And then a lovely picture of our hot chocolates in front of the Christmas tree. And there's some more photographs just on here as well. So that was my one, and then Elliot had one the following day. So this is story 10 and story 11. These were like a marshmallow topper, and you put them on your drink and they melted in. They were delicious. So then I've just got another filler page. One of the sets of flair that I released this year were these little mice. So they were doing all sorts of different things, these little mice, and I just thought they were so cute, they needed their own page. So I've just got some little florals, the word Christmas down here, although my tea's fallen off. I may need to go back and stick that on properly later. I often find out with these like epoxy style letters that you have to put a little bit of glue on the back because the adhesive they come with never properly sticks. Story 12 is this page. This was from one of our December album advents. And I decided to cut out, to use the trees to have photographs in of all the new decorations that I bought for this year. So this one was from John O'Groats in Scotland when we went and did the NC 500, which is 500 miles of the North Coast shoreline. Absolutely stunning. Would recommend it to anyone. It was amazing. We actually broke down halfway and only did half of it. We have to go back and go back and do the other half this year. It was absolutely amazing. If you ever get the chance, my goodness, go and do it. But these are all different decorations that I've purchased this year from a variety of places. One when I was on holiday with a friend, a garden centre, a Christmas market this one came from. So I love to collect decorations each year. So that's story 12, that's all our new decorations. Story 13 was, I often buy a gonk every year, big ones, and I have actually bought some gonks this year. They haven't made it into the album, I don't think. But what did make it into the album is this little guy who is a rat. He just looked so funny. I couldn't leave him in the shop. And I don't know if you've seen the Muppet Christmas Carol film, one of the best Christmas films in my opinion. I think it's so funny. There's a line in the film where Gonzo lights Rizzo's tail instead of lighting a lamp. And Rizzo shouts, "Light the lamp, not the rat." And that's just what my title had to be. It was "Light the lamp, not the rat." I haven't actually set him on fire, but that's where the title has come from. Another little one of those mice flair there. So cute. The next page is Elliot doing his letter to Santa. So we've got him sat at the table writing his letter. I've got lots of, I've got a photograph inside an envelope here. This is a cut file. And then I've got him obviously smiling there. I've got a lovely little stamp flare. And then the title of Dear Santa is a cut file. We've got one of the stamps from a couple of years back, actually, this one. A postage stamp piece of acrylic. And then what I've done with this page is I haven't stuck it together properly. So whilst the papers inside are not necessarily what you would want to look at, what it's great for is that I've actually hidden the letter that he sent to Santa, and Santa very kindly sent me this back so that I could store it in my December album and hide it away. So I like to keep hold of those. I think they're really special. We've then got story 15. Now story 15 spreads over both of these two pages. This is my friend Sharon, and we went and met for a day. We live quite a way away from each other, so we have to find somewhere to meet that's suitable. So we often try and meet somewhere in the middle, and we found somewhere to meet and had a lovely cafe. And we walked through this cafe and just found that they had reindeer just in the garden centre. They were from a reindeer rescue, and they were just stood there, and you could take photographs of them, and it was so cute, and it really made. It was just a lovely Christmassy thing. It was so lovely. They had lots of lovely decorations in the garden centre itself. This is us stood under one of them. And then we had a really nice meal together. So I've just kind of documented that across the two pages using the cut file of special and ho 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 as well for my 15th story. I've got a little flare in there. Some more of those little stars, and yeah, a little lift up flap there as well. And then the last story going into this particular album is us at, I can't remember where. Oh, I should probably write that on, shouldn't I? Every year we will go to a Christmas light show or a winter light show. And this one was, I think, over in Leeds. So I've used the Merry and Bright. I wanted this page to be on its own because I know I've got nothing else, I don't think, that's very blue. And the photographs, because of the nature of the lights, were very, very blue. So I didn't want to put anything else necessarily with them. But this is story 16. I've got another little mousey up there. So I've chosen a few of the photographs from the night, used that Merry and Bright title, and used a pocket page for this one. And I'm really pleased with how that turned out. I always find photographs like this really difficult to scrap, but I definitely want them in there because it's one of our big Christmassy things to do. So that's the whole of that album. So we get to day 16 by the end of album 1, and then we transfer over to album 2. I don't have a December 2024 on the front of this one, although I may cut another one and pop it on. So story I have never repeated 16, have I? Oh my goodness, I've repeated 16. I might have something missing. Probably not. Whoopsie, we've got two 16s. Never mind. So this is really special. This was a Christmas card that was made for me by my lovely friend Sharon, and she's actually made this, and it's all like die cut. And we often chat online on an evening. We are, like I say, we're quite a way away from each other, so we can't pop round to each other's houses for a cup of tea. So we often chat online, and she actually made this while we were chatting, and then she sent it through to me, and I just loved the card so much. It's so sweet with this little shaker. It had to have its own page. So it's got a cut file frame here, this holly frame, and then I literally just stuck the card in. The card will open so you can see the sentiment inside. But I just loved it so much. I was like, nope, that's got to go in the album. I'm keeping that. Story 17 was us going to our local wildlife centre, the Yorkshire Wildlife Park. It's actually literally 10 minutes from me. So it's a brilliant place to go. They do cheap tickets in the winter because half of the animals don't come out. But we had a lovely day. It was very cold, but we had a lovely day. And so, yeah, just holiday memories. And I've used one of the little raccoon flare there just to pop in. I don't think we saw a raccoon, but we did see red pandas, and there was plenty to see. The next story is of the snowman. This is a cut file I made for my own personal use. For obvious reasons, it can't be sold, but I drew it for myself. For my 18th story, when we went to the Snowman Trail, hence the title on the back. This is what I was talking about before, if I mentioned it, about the cut files. So I've cut it out on this side as just the outline, but then I've cut it again, flipped it, and removed all of the internal cut lines just so that I can cover up and you don't see anything messy. And then I could stick this title on the back without it kind of showing through to the front, if that makes sense. And then I've got a lovely another fold out page here. This is me and my husband. They'd put all these little lampposts up. They might already be there. This was Clumber Park near Worksop. They've got these little lanterns, and they've tied snowman scarves around all of the lampposts. You can imagine that several of the scarves were actually missing, which I think is such a shame for people to take them. But they were wrapped from most of the lampposts. So I've got a sparkle here, and then this opens out. So this is one of those trails where you can go and find all of the statues. And there were 12 of them, and it was the 12 days of Christmas. So each of the statues, were they classed as? I'm sure they're called statues, had one of the 12 days of Christmas on. So this was a partridge in a pear tree, 2 turtle doves, 3 French hens, 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, so all of them. And we did actually manage to find all 12 before the battery on my wheelchair decided to die. we just made it to number 12 before I lost all power and couldn't carry on. And it was getting quite dark by number 12, but we did make it. We found them all. So that was a lot of fun. A lovely bit of fresh air before Christmas. Story 19. Story 19? Yeah. Story 19 was Oh What Fun. I do this every year as well. I really need to find some different things to do, but these are my little traditions. I put silly antlers and hats and things on my 2 dogs. So this is Poppy, this is Bella. Bella always looks nonplussed. Like she could be doing the most fun thing ever and she would still have like a really sour look on her face. Poppy looks happy, Bella less so. So Oh What Fun, and just some cute photographs of them. And then 20 was, I've used the bow cut file and I've made a page that opens up because I decided to, on the inside, use it's a wrap cut file. And these are photographs of my son and I, well, not me, just him, wrapping lots of lovely presents. Very simple page, 4 photographs, cut file, and a few bits of ephemera, and it was enough. And I just love the opening nature of that page. And I've just used a Velcro, sticky Velcro pads here to close it up, and there's another flare hiding in there as well. And then story 21 is festive tradition. This is another one of our daft traditions that we have in our house. So our cake this year, as has been true for many years, has been decorated with Lego. So Elliot got a few of those advent calendars where you get Lego figurines, Christmas themed Lego figurines, and he keeps them, and we have them in a separate bag, and every year they come out and he decorates the cake with Lego. I think it's really fun and individual, and he loves doing it. Last year, I will say that it wasn't Lego, it was Pokemon, because we had a Pokemon advent calendar, so they made it onto the cake. But this year we were back to Lego. So much fun. Festive tradition, their cut file. This one, I cannot take credit for this idea. I do not know who I saw doing this, but someone made a Christmas tree shape out of wax melts. So they've made lots of different wax melts. So I did mine out of green and red, and a gold one for the top. And then they punched out some little pictures of things and put them into some of the blank wax melts, because I've got a blank wax melt. And so I've done that. So I've taken 4 photographs of some of the antics that our elf got up to this year. Granted, he hadn't gone back to the North Pole at this point, but I took 4 of the ideas of what he did. He got tangled up in some sewing. He made s'mores on a candle. He went sledding through some icing sugar, and then he grated crayons into Skittles. So there's a whole load of different things that he got up to, and that's how I chose to document that. So thank you to the person who came up with that idea. No idea who it was. I have since seen the picture, but I still don't know who made it. But what a fabulous idea. That was story 22. Story 23, this idea was properly borrowed from one of my friends, Rebecca, who said every year she takes a photograph of her son in front of the Christmas tree reading a book. And Elliot has some very special Christmas books. But I was like, how do you do it? How do you make it look like this? And it's, you just put a light or a torch inside the book and then take the photograph of the child reading. We did have a few takes of this because there were a few where he looked quite scary from the way that the shadows fell on his face. We eventually got a nice one. What a lovely idea. Absolutely love it. And I've called it Magic Moments. A few more little dangling baubles. And then the D cut file, again from one of the advent calendars. We've also got the deer. This is from last year's December album advent calendar. I've made him into a shaker. I don't know if you can see, just about see the shaking of the sequins hiding in there. And because as we lead on to Christmas Eve. So there's several pages for Christmas Eve. The first page is Elliot receiving his Christmas Eve box, as he does every year. I've used the present Polaroid from this year's advent calendar, and in there is a tag with some more photographs on, just hiding nicely away. I chose one photograph obviously to keep out, and then did the rest smaller with our other traditions on, so his things, the silly hats and things he gets. And we always, I don't know why, we have pancakes on Christmas Eve. That's our Christmas Eve breakfast. The next one is Holiday Spirit, which is Elliot preparing for Santa to arrive. I've used this stocking cut file back with lots of glitter that's still falling off everywhere. And 3 lovely photographs, 1 of his plate and 2 of him hanging his stocking, hence the stocking cut file. And the Holiday Spirit title matched in with the lovely blue background. And then he popped outside. We forgot to do this, so we had to go outside in pyjamas, as you do. So he went outside to put out the reindeer food and hang the magic key on the front door. And I had to go with a really silly title for this one because there was this moose in the Bella Boulevard ephemera pack. Now, we obviously don't have moose in the UK, so I thought I'd turn it into a bit of a joke and have Smile, it's Christmas. I don't know if you can see that, it actually says Christmas. There's 2 O's there. So I just thought that was really quite funny. So I just did a bit of a play on words. Happy with the page though, I think it looks really cute. And then, I love this page. This is I used the Santa title, this is my Christmas Day page. This whole page comes out of the pocket page. This pocket page comes with the album. And I've managed to tuck in 2 photographs here of him opening his present sack from Santa. So they took in, not into, so I have to show you this, it's been quite difficult to show you, but they took in Velcro sticky dot there. I've cut out the sack twice so that the Santa sack actually becomes a pocket. So then those photographs can live inside that pocket, she says. They can, honestly. And then the page can still open up separately. And then there's the rest of the Christmas photographs we've got of the rest of the things of him opening some presents from Santa and some presents from us as well. So that's holly jolly. I've used the present stack there as the main feature on that page. And I love how that all came together. And I love having opening pages. And then on the back, I had to incorporate the dogs. This is the dogs getting their gifts, which are just these cheese bones. They're like really rock solid cheese, but they absolutely love them. And they had them in their stockings. So, and I used the Joy cut file there to document that. So that then tucks in really nicely. So that meant I could get lots and lots of photographs on the same page. The last Christmas Day photograph that I've got is this one. It's called the best. I've called it the best gift, as I've used the best gift cut file, and I had again to go with lots of blues because the photograph was quite blue because of the lights from the Christmas tree and the lights from a lamp that Elliot got for Christmas as well. So I had to kind of go with a set colour scheme for that one, which is why it's got lots of blues on there, and it's just a whole family photograph. And I love that photograph. We often forget, how bad is that as a scrapbooker? Often forget to get a full family photograph. In fact, I forgot, after taking opening Christmas present photos, I forgot all day to take any more photographs until this one. So that one had to go in here. And I love how that looks. That's my whole family. Now, unusually for me, I would normally stop at Christmas Day. I decided this year to go all the way through to New Year's Eve. I've not done that before, but I had space in the album. And because I'd managed to get my album done quite early, I decided that would be a lot of fun. And there were things that we hadn't done yet that I wanted to do for Christmas. So I thought, well, why not? So we did more baking memories. I realised I've used that acrylic title once already, but I did it again along with the baking cut file that came with this year's December album advent, because we made, I love this, it turned out so well. We didn't make a gingerbread house this year. We made a gingerbread Christmas tree out of stars. So you make lots and lots of gingerbread stars, all in different sizes, and then you stack them up with green icing on. And it ends up, this is Elliot making it, it ends up looking like a Christmas tree. And I think that can't not go in the album. So that was absolutely going in. So what I did on the bowl was I backed the front part, and then I didn't stick this down, and then I backed the back with some more of the wood grain so that it became like a pocket and I could tuck my photographs in there. So that was our Boxing Day fun, as well as playing with gifts and things. The next day was we went and met up with my friend Sharon again, but this time the whole family went, and it was absolutely freezing, and we had the best day, and we went to Belton House, and so this was on the 27th, and I've got the whole of Belton House there were just trees everywhere inside, and it was just so much fun to explore. So I used the snow globe cut file and made a hinge at the bottom so that you could fold it down and see the rest of the photographs hiding underneath. Again, these Velcro dots are fantastic for that. We then went on another adventure. We took lots of opportunities to get out into and get some fresh air. We went on a festive adventure to Fountains Abbey, which is up near Ripon and Harrogate. So I've just used the adventure title there. Again, just lots of pictures. And just a lovely day out in the fresh air. My husband, not my son, my husband decided he wanted a Lego Christmas tree for Christmas. So I used the Joy Cut file to document him having built his Christmas tree for my story 29. Story 30, I just really wanted to use this cut file. And this title, Family Time, we just had so much lovely family time this Christmas. I wanted to document that, and I love this camera. Again, that's another one from this year's December album advent. Joy is from either last year's or the year before's. Little tag at the top to have my number on, and then very simply, Hello 2025 was just a big picture of our drinks with a lovely acrylic title there, Hello 2025, and that is it. That's the whole of my album. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it will inspire you. I thoroughly enjoyed making these albums. I love doing it every single year. If you have any questions at all about how I've done anything, what I've used, anything like that at all, please just drop it in a comment and I'll be sure to answer you. And if you've made it all the way to the end with my funny voice, I do apologise. I've got a really nasty cold and I'm also recovering from pneumonia, hence why it's taken me so long to film this video in the first place. So thank you very much for sticking with me. Like I say, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again soon, hoping very soon to get back into YouTube and making more videos. So yeah, see you soon. Bye for now.